All right, in this presentation, I'm going to quickly cover with you the challenges as well as my recommendations for running home services on Google Ads. My name is Leonidas. I've been in the pay-per-call slash affiliate marketing game since 2014. I've ran hundreds of thousands of dollars of my own money through Google Ads, as well as Facebook ads, as well as other marketing platforms. And I've been actively grinding and pushing through the home service niche on Google Ads since 2024, right? So this is going to be my advice for you, my recommendations, as well as the challenges that you're going to face if you're going to go down this route. Now, this advice is also relevant if you run Google Ads, so I recommend that you learn from it as well. Now, let's begin. The home services niche on Google Ads is not for beginners. You are up against a lot of competition, whether it's myself, a seasoned veteran in the marketing game, whether it's marketing agencies who spend tens of thousands of dollars every single day breaking through roofing and electricians and plumbing and all those other home services areas, or you're up against multi-million-dollar companies that have no issues with money as far as how much they're willing to spend to get a roofing lead or a plumbing lead or an electrician lead, such as Angie's List, such as Home Advisors, et cetera, et cetera. So because of all this competition, the cost per click can be extremely expensive. You're looking at clicks anywhere from $5 to $10 to $20 to $30 and up. I've seen clicks on my own accounts well over $100. And in some cases, they can go even beyond that. And this is simply just for a click, not even a phone call, right? But then once you do end up getting the phone call, you end up getting into a thing called leakage, where you have to deal with things breaking along the way, where you end up losing the conversion itself. So what is conversion leakage? Here are the 5 steps that I'm going to quickly cover. Impressions, but no clicks. Clicks, but no calls. Calls, but you don't get any conversions. You get conversions ultimately, and depending on who you're working with, the conversions are not up to par, not what they're looking for, so you get refunds as well. And then finally, you also have to deal with really frustrating technical issues sometimes as well. So we're going to cover the solutions to these problems. And if you've run Google Ads, you're probably very much aware of these, so these are going to be my solutions for you. Impressions, but no clicks. Lots of impressions, especially with call ads. This is a very, very common thing where you see lots of impressions, but the click-through rate is almost inexistent. It's like in the 0.01% sometimes. And in this case, is because your CPCs, your cost per clicks, are too low versus the competition. You may be bidding only $1 or $2 or $3, while the competition is willing to bid $10 or more just for a click on the ad. And because of this, they're eating up the majority of the impressions. Google Ads is still willing to share some of the impressions, even for the lower guys, even for the guys that don't have that much budget. But ultimately, the bigger fish are going to get the majority of the clicks. And the second way is to simply add the keyword that the person is looking for in headline number 1. Now, keep in mind that you do not want to add branded keywords such as large company names in the headline number 1, because number 1, this can lead to your account getting suspended for misrepresentation. And number 2 is you could potentially get sued by the company itself. So then once we finally get some clicks, we're not getting any calls. So what's the problem there? Some people, when they click on your ad, they don't realize it's a call ad. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. There's no way to prevent it. There's no way to get 100% of the time that it leads into a phone call. They click on the ad expecting to go to a website, but unfortunately it's a call ad. It opens up their dialer and they simply cancel it. And the best way to fix this is to use the max conversions bidding strategy to get the highest clicks to call ratio. This is because we're essentially using Google's algorithms to figure out who is the best person to show our ad to. And on top of that, they're also positioning our ad in the rankings in order to not show our ad to somebody who might be window shopping or looking for specific brand names. And the last one is you're getting clicks to your landing page, but the landing page itself is not getting any phone calls. And this has to do with many, many different things. Let's say site performance, or they go on your website and they're looking for something very specific, but it's not there, or they're just window shopping. So landing page ads will ultimately have the lowest conversion rates for phone calls. Not all the time, but the majority of the time, I would say. But let's say we finally get a phone call, right? And we're getting multiple phone calls. But for whatever reason, there's calls, but no conversions. So what's happening? Potentially, what's happening is that the person is simply dropping off at the 10-second mark. Okay. If you look at your call reports in the Google Ads interface, you will see lots and lots of calls that don't even make it to the first 10 seconds, don't even make it to the first 15 seconds because people either listen to the IVR and they simply drop off, they simply disappear. Sometimes they simply click on it and it lasts a single second and then nothing happens after that. And Google Ads still counts that as a phone call. Or they call in and they're looking for a specific brand or a specific existing business, or they simply misdialed. So they're looking for John's plumbing services and they misdialed, thinking that whatever ad that they first end up clicking on, because your ad was in the first position, was the company that they're looking for. So you're going to have to deal with these. And then finally, you're getting the calls. The calls are coming in, but when they get routed, the buyer is either busy, sleeping, or unavailable. This is prevalent when you're not running to a large call center. Instead, you're running to, let's say, potentially individual businesses where there's a lot of variables in play. And once again, maybe their phone lines are completely busy. Maybe they're on a construction site or they're helping another customer, or once again, they're completely unavailable. So this is something else you have to deal with in the home services niche. So we finally got our first conversion, and whether it's for a $40 conversion, $50 conversion, I've seen conversions go up to $200, even $300 sometimes. But ultimately, the call gets refunded. And some of these calls are even 3 minutes, 4 minutes long, but yet they're still refunded simply because the person called in and they didn't realize it was the wrong company. They might even stay on the phone for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes before they realize that they called the wrong company. Or they're asking for a service that is not provided by the company itself or the business, such as they call in for appliance repair and they're asking for coffee machine repair, or they're asking for microwave repair, which appliance repair companies don't do simply because it's not profitable enough for them to cover these types of problems. So ultimately, in order to keep with good standing with the company you work for, the calls ultimately get refunded. And in the affiliate marketing space, this is also considered scrubbing, where bad leads or bad conversions are typically taken out and you don't get paid for those. And finally, one of the most frustrating ones is technical errors. This happens throughout the entire funnel, and this happens even on a larger scale when you're running many, many things at any given moment. Let's say you set up your Google Ads incorrectly. Now, if you've obviously run Google Ads before, you've made tons of mistakes where you set the budget for too high, or you've set your CPCs for too high, or whatever it is you misconfigured. You've set up a technical error within the marketing itself, or when they ultimately get on your landing page, there's some kind of issues happening there where call parameters are not being tracked, information is not being sent to where it's supposed to go. So from your marketing platform, you're not passing the correct parameters to your call tracking platform. Let's say your zip code is incorrect that you're collecting from the person, or you're misdirecting them to the incorrect destination, or there's something wrong with your call tracking altogether. Like, let's say they're having some issues as well. So you're going to lose calls in that regard as well. And finally, let's say they manage to get from your Google Ads through your call tracking platform, everything is perfect, but then they finally get to the buyer himself, and the buyer is the one that's having the problems with their call tracking system. Whether they're not picking up because there's some kind of error, or they've misconfigured some things here and there, or even it could be as simple as they've configured the correct things, but they're sending a phone call that should be paying, let's say, $80 to a $5 destination. Instead of getting paid the full $80, which is what you're supposed to be paid, you get $5 or even $3 in some cases, simply because of misrouting. So these are technical errors that can also add up for frustration. But what happens when you do finally get success? A few months ago, I spoke to my affiliate manager and asked him, how many affiliates do you have under your company? And he said roughly 5,000 of them applicants, right? Not active, but applicants. And of those, about 300 of them are active. So actively promoting on Google Ads, on Facebook ads, on Bing ads, on other social media platforms. So they're actively promoting something. But out of all of those, even from the 5,000, which ultimately they're not successful. We go down to the 300, which is, maybe they do have some substantial amount of success. Is only the 1% who ultimately ends up generating the 1,000 calls per day out of all those. And that was simply with that one company. We're not even extrapolating to the rest of them. But what is the good news from running at least the home services niche or even Google Ads in general with the pay-per-call industry is that the payouts can be incredibly high. Like, let's say some plumbing calls, $200, electrician calls, $200, roofing calls, even more, right? Because these are high paying jobs for the contractors. So therefore, per phone call, they pay out a lot. So when I do see a $200 or $300 phone call, this is very uplifting. And on top of that, the home services niche, for the most part, is evergreen. So people are always going to need plumbers. People are always going to need electricians, appliance repair as well. Something's always going to break. So some of the niches within home services are evergreen. Roofing is more seasonal. Lawn care is more seasonal. Pest control is more seasonal. But other ones, very much 24/7, all the time, 365 days of the year. And on top of that, there's always room for innovation in the marketing space. So, what are other marketing methods that have potential and that I've heard people running in the marketing game? Remember that YouTube is the second largest search engine on the planet. It has a lot of potential for generating clicks as well as phone calls. Now, I'm still trying to get my bearings around YouTube because for the most part, I've always been running Google Ads search. But YouTube, once again, is the second largest search engine on the planet. So it has a lot of potential for generating phone calls as well if you're able to crack the code. The second one is the Facebook Marketplace. Now, generally for what I've seen is that people simply spam it. They outsource the process of people simply posting fake ads with the phone number and trying to game the system on the Facebook Marketplace. But it is another opportunity. I don't recommend it because you just risk getting accounts banned and have to play this entire game. But it is something that other people do. And a third one is setting up Google business profiles. Previously, it was called Google My Business. So keep in mind that now Google is implementing a lot of AI to clean out fake listings or listings that, for example, some companies set up thousands and thousands of various pest control companies around the US, fake ones, and then people end up calling these. But now Google's using AI to actively filter these out, to actively clean them out, to actively improve their search results. And finally, we have SEO. So once again, that's targeting organic search results on Google and Bing. It's much more long-term. You're looking at results maybe a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, maybe even more, or even none at all, simply because everything is being replaced by ChatGPT for lookups or Claude or whatever other search engines are available that are basically AI based. And even Google themselves are implementing a lot of AI for a lot of these things. But if someone's looking for a home service, they're looking for a phone number to click on to make a phone call. So keep that in mind as well. So if you're able to somehow crack the SEO code for the home services niche in the US, which is very, very competitive once more, then there's a lot of potential there. In conclusion, if you're planning to run home services on Google Ads, keep in mind, it's tough. It's not for beginners. It's expensive. And there's a lot of things that can break along the way. But the payouts are really, really high. You can get some really, really juicy payouts in as far as running home services. And there's lots of innovation for different marketing strategies. Nowadays, you can try to run ads on TikTok or even Instagram because sometimes people are not even using Google anymore for their searches or even Facebook. There's a lot of room for innovation, especially in the marketing game. So you can essentially try to grow your ads into Instagram or into TikTok or into Snapchat. Or if you're able to crack the code on any of these, there's a lot of potential for those because those are almost completely untouched marketing platforms themselves. Nonetheless, check out the free links in the description of this video. There's also going to be a course coming out very, very soon. It's currently under development where I'm going to teach you even more advanced techniques and advanced strategies on Google Ads that you will essentially need to know, and you can extrapolate them into whatever else that you're promoting. So make sure to check out the links in the description. Also, there's a free course that I created way back when that you can check out. Anyways, Leonid is here. Leave any questions you have in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers and salud.